So get this, right? So I traveled like 40 plus hours. I recognized that I was a little late, but Thursday was supposed to be the partner party. Whenever, you know, partners can show up, have a nice little party together before TwitchCon happens. Well, again, I was a little bit late. The party ran from like 6:30 to 9 o'clock. And unfortunately, I wasn't able to make it until like 8:20, 8:30. It sucked, right? But being my first TwitchCon as a partner, I wanted to make sure that I made it to the party, even if it was for like 30 minutes or whatever. So I walk up to the place and I ask them, I'm like, hey, it's my first time here. I'm just trying to figure out how to get to the partner party and get my badge. And they're like, sweet, go through those doors, go up the escalator, and bada bing, bada boom. So I said, sweet. And I walked through the doors and I got to the escalator and there was this guy and he asked me for my ID. So I gave him my ID. I went up there. Next thing I know, I'm just surrounded by, well, all the Twitch partners. It's a huge party. I go like back and forth. And after like 10 minutes, I'm still kind of feeling out of place anyway. So I keep asking around like, hey, where do I get my badge? Where do I get my badge? And they're like, everybody's just kind of shrugging at me. So I'm like, well, you all have your badges. How does nobody know? So whatever. So I go up to a security coordinator, whatever he is. And I'm like, hey, I'm trying to figure out how to get my partner badge. And I don't even really recognize that I'm in the partner party at that point, but I'm still like, hey, I'm trying to get my badge so that I can be in the partner party. And this security guy looks at me and he goes, you don't have your badge? And I go, no, because obviously I just asked this dude where I get my badge. So he turns around and he points at the escalator and he goes, do me a favor, go down that escalator. And he kicked me out. He kicked me out. Like, what the? So I'm like, okay, that was really weird considering I was asking him for information on how to not get kicked out and I got kicked out. But so I went to another yellow shirt, like Twitch coordinator, and I'm like, hey, I'm trying to be in the partner party, but I just got kicked out. So all I wanted to know is how I get my badge and how I can be in the partner party. And this person is actually really nice. And they're like, oh, okay. My bad. We actually stopped giving out the partner badges at 8:30. And y'all, it's like 8:40. Because again, I got there, but I was walking around and whatever. And he was like, hey, you're going to have to come back tomorrow morning and pick up your badge. So I'm like, okay, cool. No problem. So I was like, nice. I just have to make it earlier. Whatever. I got to get my badge. So I'm walking away. And as I'm walking away, this woman, like with a clipboard and like walkie-talkie on her head, she like runs up to me and she's like, hey, I see that you're leaving. Can I ask you a couple questions? And I'm like, well, of course. So she starts asking me, she's like, so where did you just exit from? And I'm like, well, what do you mean? I guess I was up in the partner party. And she was like, oh, you were up in the party? And I'm like, yeah. She's like, and you didn't have your badge on? I said, no. She was like, and she looked down at my wrist and she goes, you didn't get a health check either? And I said, no, because again, this was all information I was trying to get when I got there. And when I said no, this woman just gives me like the craziest look and she just goes, thanks. And she turns around and marches off. And that's when I kind of got pissed off, right? That's when I kind of got pissed off because I was thinking about it. And I accidentally broke into the partner party and got kicked out. Like, I could have been anybody. I could have literally been anybody. I could have had, they just let anybody in. I was anybody and they let me in. I was walking around with the Twitch bread and butter. They didn't search me. All they did was check my ID, which could have been a fake ID, and they just let me in. I don't get it. I was around the Twitch bread and butter, like the big ones, and they literally just let me in. Like, I could have had anything on me. I could have been ruthlessly sick. They literally just let me in. And the only reason that I got kicked out was because I brought it to their attention. Like, what the fuck? It was just, and that was my first experience as a Twitch partner. I went there for that party. I left early, got specific plans to go to that party. That day, I was just a little bit late. I was like, I'm a Twitch partner now. Let's go to the partner party. And I got fucking kicked out. Like, so yeah. The TwitchCon partner party security was an absolute joke. And I say that as a Twitch partner who was there because I broke in on accident. Felt so fucking weird, y'all. Strawberry, exactly. They better be real happy nothing bad happened to anyone. Like, anyone could have come in there and done something. Exactly. Because at that point, I was anyone. Like, great job that I'm a nice guy and had no bad plans, what, you know? But, like, not everybody's like that. I'm just... So, yeah.